I'm happy with that. 42 points. I'm happy with that. That is my best by far. Best before that was 28 points. So we averaged over 4 points a game. 11 eliminations, so better than a 1.0 KD. Best performance yet.
What's up, guys? Velo here, and today I'm excited to share with you my 30-day Fortnite transformation. After playing since Season 2, I felt like I kind of hit a plateau in my skill progression, somewhere around Season 8 in Chapter 1. I was still playing a lot, but I just wasn't getting better at the game, and it wasn't until Chapter 2 that I made it my goal to finally figure out why. It wasn't until I got brutally honest with myself and realized that the reason I wasn't learning and improving was because I wasn't taking blame for my errors in the game. When I died, I would blame it on something that was outside of my control, something like my game lagged, or he phased through my ramp, or the gun didn't shoot, or any number of BS reasons for being sent back to the lobby. I would even blame my teammates sometimes for not communicating or not defending me or for messing me up. Once I started taking ownership for my mistakes and started looking at what I could do to fix them, that is when I was ready to start moving forward again. So I set out a plan for myself. I was going to train every day for 30 days. Now, the actual program evolved over the course of that month, but the main structure was this. I would start with 15 to 30 minutes of aim training. Now, this started with a program called Kovacs Aim Trainer, which is highly respected in the PC gaming community to help improve your aim. I had used Kovacs in the past, but the main issue I had with it was I didn't actually get to use and feel the guns that I would in the game. Not to mention, if you're like me and you have a different ADS or aim down sight sensitivity, then you would have to manually adjust that in Kovacs each time if you wanted to work both. So after about a week, I discovered an aim training map by a creator named Salage. This map was very similar to Kovacs, and in fact, a few of the drills were even called the same thing. But after the first week using Salage's aim training map, I really started noticing I was hitting my shots much more consistently, and towards the end of that 30 days, there was a night and day difference in my ability to track and hit my enemies. So after I finished my aim training, I would spend 15 minutes working on editing. The first couple days I was editing on Raider 464's edit course, but actually ended up creating my own version to meet my needs and wants. Coming into the 30-day challenge, I actually thought my editing was pretty good, but you can see how 15 minutes a day for 30 days dramatically improved my ability to not only edit structures quickly and efficiently, but also to identify those structures and learn to anticipate how other players were going to use them. Check out some of my before and afters right here. So once that 15 minutes were up, I would spend 15 minutes just free building. And here I would practice a variety of building techniques, including 90s, various high ground retakes, side jumps, tunneling, and box fighting drills. I didn't dramatically change my routine over that 30 days, but rather focused on getting more consistent and cleaner with the build routine that I already knew. I think moving forward, I would like to start adding more variety to my high ground retakes and building routines. But let's go ahead and just take a look at my before and afters from day 1 to day 30 with my builds. Now, to kick off the 30-day challenge, I participated in the Thursday night solo cash cup on day 1. I was making a lot of simple mistakes, playing scared, and panicking when I got into 1-on-1 battles. I still somehow managed to get 25 points in the tournament, but I would soon realize that I had a bit of luck on my side and really only scored placement points. Actually, in those 10 games, I only got 2 eliminations, meaning 23 of my points came from just staying alive, staying in the game. Over the next few weeks, I continued to play the Cash Cup, but was actually placing worse with a 15-point finish, a 19-point finish, a 28-point finish, and then a 12-point finish. Now, the 12-point finish, I was focusing on getting eliminations and got very few placement points. And that's because I realized that one of my biggest weaknesses was my ability to remain calm and confident in high-pressure gunfights. So I dedicated an entire tournament to putting myself in that situation as much as possible. Now, the more I was able to remain calm, the more the skills that I had been practicing every day started to translate in the actual game. After week 2, I started adding in daily box fights and zone wars to work on using my aim, edit, and build skills in dynamic situations where people were actually shooting back at me. By doing box fights and zone wars, I was able to get into 30 to 50 gunfights in a session, where if I just played regular solos, I might only get into a dozen or so gunfights in a session. And getting in consistent repetitions also enabled me to practice different techniques over and over again. Now, don't worry, it wasn't all work and no play. I still had tons of fun playing squads with my friends, but it felt great when one of my teammates would recognize my improvements in the game.
Oh, nice shot.
For the first time in months, I was seeing noticeable changes in my ability in the game and had a deeper understanding of the game's current meta. So after 30 days of sticking to this program, dedicating about an hour a day to individual training, having to resist that urge to accept that initial invite when I first logged on, and studying my mistakes, taking ownership for those errors, and figuring out what I had to do to minimize those errors, it all came down to day 30. To bring an end to my 30 days, I decided once again to play in the solo cash cup, and this is how it went.
Let's make sure no one's landing with me here. Wow, he almost got that. Oof. There we go. I'm close to zone though. I can tunnel now. But they know I'm on wood. That's the problem. I am going to get focused here. I'm going to back up a little bit, try to take this med kit. I'm just waiting for those 2 points, and then I got to push somebody. Nah. Not a whole lot we can do, though. I'm pretty exposed here. No natural cover. This is a good zone. We're just going to go mid-zone right now. Everybody's waiting for 26 to go down right now, though. This is actually a good time to rotate because people are more cautious. But at the same time, you know, there's risk involved. All right. What's the best way to do this? I'm assuming most people, if we go back and look at the map direction, most people probably came in on this side. We can kind of confirm that by looking over there. So probably this route, following the bridge. There's a little bit of cover that we can get from the bridge. We got to do that sooner rather than later, though. I want to stay height. I have no mats. I have no mats. Serious, bro.
This edit right here saves my life and allows me to continue in the fight. Here I knew my opponent had a rocket launcher and was likely going to use it when I dropped down, so I build a wall to block it.
Okay. Going for it. Beep, beep. Ah, nice. One more person dies, I might just run over there. Get this placement real quick. I knew that was gonna happen. They all just focus you, man. This is what happens. Watch my mats. I'm gonna chill, get this placement. There we go. Come here, I need you. I'm in trouble. 91, dude. This guy's gonna 50-50 me. Give me something. Shouldn't have done it, bro. Slow is good. I'm learning from the streams. Good, man. I'm glad. You have to work within your strengths, right? And you have to work on your weaknesses. So when you're playing a game for, you're trying to get a good score, you're trying to get good placement, whatever it is, you have to play to your strengths and then practice your weaknesses. So for me, my strength is game knowledge. I understand the game very well. I understand the rotations. I understand the way the zone works. I understand the direction that players come into zone, what side is going to be more heavily trafficked. I understand the map. I understand where high ground is and the advantages. Those things. All right. I feel like I have pretty good game smarts. My weaknesses are my build fighting. My box fighting has gotten a lot better. My box fighting is pretty good, but build fighting, like having to regain height, that's something that I've struggled with, and I've improved a lot over the last 30 days. I've really been focusing on mechanics in the game and working on the things that I struggle with. But when you're playing for points like this and you're trying to perform well, you have to play to your strengths. Now, with that said, there's sometimes, like last week, I played the Cash Cup and I was just going for kills. I was pushing every person I saw. For the most part, every person I saw, I was pushing them. And not because I was going for points, it's because I was working on my weaknesses in that case. Here we go. Placement. 30 seconds, we get a new zone. I'll probably just chill right now until I get that. Cheeky little steal right there. Get my health up. I thought I blocked that. Oh, I edited the wall and didn't reset it. That's a careless mistake. I want to fish that, but I gotta... Oh, shit. Don't see me. Oh, this is not... Whoa! Oh, I had 100 health. I had no shield. One headshot does it. how you get them. I missed. Oh, come on, that shot's got to hit. I got to remember that these lobbies are much better players. Like, I just assumed that guy up in a wood tower on edge was probably not a good player, but then I got to remember he's probably got 35 points also. So harness the power of the dubsman for this game. Shouldn't have followed. We just got top 25? Holy crap. Dude, 1 point away from 40. I should have taken the flopper, but I thought that guy was going to just spam my builds. I'm happy with that. 42 points. I'm happy with that. That is my best by far. Best before that was 28 points. So we averaged over 4 points a game. 11 eliminations, so better than a 1.0 KD. Best performance yet.